Okay, so today I would like to roll out the financial transparency website for the county. This started back when we knew ARPA funds were coming, and feel like there's a need to put out there to the public of what our finances are. So with that said, you need to understand that this is real time. So as my accountants are keying stuff in and doing things, it's showing up right here immediately. So there might be something behind the scenes where we have to reallocate, or so some things look a little odd, and we're going to go over some of that so you see. But this is real time. So there shouldn't be any questions on what we are doing in the finance department. So what this does is we have different categories. We have the budget, which is just basically taking what we have on the general ledger and the financial system and comparing it to budget. We have the checkbook, which will outline the checks that we've paid or an EFT to a vendor. So this is looking at vendor payments. And then we have payroll, and this is the expenses of payroll. So how much is it costing us for a certain department, things like that. Individual paychecks are not out there, but the expenses are. So let me show you on all these. This here are some shortcuts, but I'm going to go down to here. You can get to all this information through here. So there's some common questions that are set up here for somebody to look at and just go in. So you can see what is the county's current budget and how is it broken down, what our top vendors are, what our total spent on salaries last year. And these will take you right to those types of answers. We can always add more questions here, or we can always track to see what are people looking at and add those questions later. So if I click on what is the current budget broken down. So right here you can see, you'll see like a light pink color, that's the budget. And then you can see what has been spent is the blue. So that's what this is showing. And you can see as of today, we had $45 million in ARPA, but we haven't spent anything yet until we have this presentation today. So there's one facet. Let's go into this question where, who are your top vendors? Okay, so it pulls up who we pay, how much we pay. Now, what you need to understand here, again, this is not ledger, this is checkbook. So we pay the state of Delaware a lot of money. But what's that for? That's not necessarily an expense. So remember, we collect RTT on their behalf. So a check going to the state, even though it's not an expense or they're not providing a service, is showing here now. Okay, so it might be a little confusing. But you can drill down. So we're going to drill down to the state of Delaware. Okay, and you can see, where it comes from, sewer. So we pay some of our debt payments there. Most of it is state realty transfer tax that's coming out. Remember, we pay them for the state police grants. They do some with our sheriff sales. So you can see what this money's being spent on. You can also say, look at the table, how much have we given the state in 2020? All of our data goes back to 2019. 2020 is $20 million, $53 million. Actually, the scrolling, it's not showing you. There we go. I was going to say, those were the changes. So we've given $94 million, $147 million, and we're now up to $93 million. Now you're saying, well, what are you giving this money to? So you can open up the checkbook specifically for the state of Delaware. So you click the checkbook. So here is all the checks, what we paid for. So we paid a loan payment for Joy Beach Sewer District in the amount of $2,195. You can do anything with this data. You can assort, descend. So I'm going to sort it. Did it sort it? Yeah, it did. So I put all the high ones at the top. So what are we paying mostly for the state? And you can see what they've collected in RTT in September and December, and you see the amounts that we've cut for their checks. So,
Gina, that would also show each town that we sent a check to for RTT?
Correct. Same thing. So, good question. We'll do that right now. Let me type in Lois. So light. So what this does is it pulls up anything Lois shows in our financial statements. Okay, you can see RTT Lois with City of Lois. So why don't we just click City of Lois and see what we paid them? So we've clicked City of Lois, same type of thing. You can go down here, you can see most of it has been RTT going to them. You can open up the checkbook, same thing. So how much was collected in the City of Lois?
And I know we don't, as example, when we do grants, we don't actually send any money to anybody until those minutes are approved.
Correct.
So when would that show up on this checkbook? Once the minutes are approved, then we send the check?
Good question. So no, because it's real time,
Okay.
you might see something here it's keyed in, but there's no check number.
Gotcha.
So it hasn't been issued yet.
Gotcha. Okay.
But again, we keep moving forward, and
Sure.
it's real time. So, and I'm going to go back here, and I want to show you. So let's put in Lois again. Look at some grants. So we give Lois Public Library grants. And you can see down here, we've given them money through local library grants, the mobile home placement tax, and there was also a county council grant. I believe it was for Shakespeare that came out of District 3. So you can see the breakdown if there's multiple categories there. If I click on local, so let's drill down specifically to what are these library grants. And it's all Lois, so you can see. And you can, again, over time, how much has Lois received through our grant. And you can see it's been increasing 293, 344, and this is as of today. So it's projected that they would be over last year of how much they're getting from the local library grants.
And we pass through the full 1.5%. We don't deduct anything for handling.
That's correct. Everything goes straight to them for the mobile home placement tax, divided equally among the 11. All right. So, again, besides the search function, you can see I've broken out the American Rescue Grant so that if somebody's specifically interested in that, they could click Explore Expenditures and see what we're spending here. I've also just pulled out general fund. Most people are concerned about general fund more than our enterprise fund, so I've kept that there as well. Just quickly going through, this is the revenue side. You can see general government, here's where we are. This is where our budget is. Constitutional offices are pretty much right on there. So let's drill down further here because you'll find some interesting data in constitutional offices. So you have all the departments. We do break out recorder of deeds due to the code, and they have to track other things separately. But you'll notice recorder of deeds is above the budget already, as would be expected with all the transfers coming in. Register of wills is very close to their budget. Sheriff is under budget. We're not having the sheriff sales as we would have expected. So you can see where we're falling real time. And if you want to see the numbers are all down here. Budget, actual, and the percentage of budget versus actual. All right. And then let me I could do this all day. So just stop me when you want. Just stop when you want.
This is certainly a great tool.
Yeah.
I mean, for you and for the county and for the public.
Yes.
I don't know maybe there are some else doing this kind of in-depth reporting that the public has access to or not. I don't know, but certainly I would think it puts you kind of at the top of the list on what you're providing to it's all transparency.
Yeah, I'm very happy with it. Real time.
Nothing that nobody's not going to be aware of or can't see or can't find or whatever. Right. So
Absolutely.
It's great.
And this is the full program at this point, right? Last year there was more to come, so now we're fully there.
Everything's out there. Originally when I got it, I was just going to do ARPA
Right.
and just do that, but I was like, why not just do everything? So it's out there. The checkbook, so I don't have anything clicked right now. If you go to the checkbook, this is everything we've spent So I could do general fund, I can sewer, water, break it down, but I'm just going to show you our checkbook. So everything, all the checks, so we do a checklist every Tuesday. So you'll see the March 8th checklist and what was spent on there. So the entire checkbook for all funds are out there. So
Well, that's baffling.
That's awesome.
So there you go.
That's awesome. Any questions of council? Great job by you and your staff.
Yes.
Are they smiling yet?
Well, thank all of you. That this is wonderful.
Thank you.
Wow. Very much so.
Very impressive.
Very much so.
That is it. Thank you.
Now we'll get to see where some of these checks go in this checkbook. Mr. Metallarge, you can come on forward. I'm sure you're going to spend some money.